you had a great holiday.
Not quite as beloved.
I didn't watch this movie. Was this movie any good? I debated watching it because I thought it might be so bad it's good, but from everything I read, it was just boring. Unanimously, no. Is it so bad it's good, though? No. Watch How Riot Beat Blizzard. From Atrioc.
Riot Games and Blizzard Entertainment.
Let's go, Atrioc. Oh, now I'm just watching stream highlights.
In this past week, Blizzard Entertainment has had probably the worst week in the history of its company.
Yeah.
And Riot Games has had possibly the best. In this past week, this is what happened for Blizzard. Okay, number one, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 were delayed to 2023 at the earliest. Largely.
Does anyone care about Overwatch 2?
Like, leaders of Blizzard leaving all at once. And again, these were the two games at the last BlizzCon that they were sort of counting on to save
literally nobody.
At a time when they needed good news the most, they were given bad. Blizzard's president, co-lead, Jen O'Neill, quit her job 3 months into the role after realizing she was only hired as a gesture of tokenism to have a woman in leadership.
True.
And she realized she couldn't make any impact. She openly said that, and she quit 3 months in. Then they canceled BlizzCon.
Yeah, I don't know if Atrioc's going to touch on it. He probably does, since this seems thorough. But yeah, Riot also had allegations against them. They were kind of in the same boat. I remember we even talked about it on the podcast. When Riot allegations came out, they were super, wild. One of them, it was revealed that the higher-ups at Riot used to go to female employees and fart in their face. That is I don't know if it's a direct quote from the lawsuit. It's been a while, but the gist was they would fart in female employees' cubicles and in their face. It was crazy reading that, yeah. So yeah, Riot also had a lot of bad shit happening at their company as well. But I think they settled already? I'm not positive. I don't remember. But yeah, it's not like it was just Blizzard. A ton of video game companies got away with a lot because Blizzards took the limelight. I remember Ubisoft had quite a bit going on at the same time. Riot, of course. And then there was one more I'm blanking on. But there was a lot. Blizzard just kind of took like that meme of this taking bullets to protect the baby who was sleeping. Blizzard did that for all of the other ones. Riot will pay $90 million. Okay, so they did settle. Activision and Blizzard are the same company, bro.
The effort required to put on BlizzCon is better spent supporting our teams, meaning we don't have enough people. We can't put this on. It's going to be, and also everyone's going to be angry at us. And so we're going to get yelled at by the fans the entire time. We're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. Also, even more importantly, they have nothing to announce. This is the key thing. I guarantee
masculinity
you,
denied.
Good and ready to launch.
I can't fart in women's faces.
Because they need
I can't be a man.
First of all, the most damning thing you could have happen to your company is Jesus himself said this.
Hey!
I think at this point it's safe to say Activision Blizzard is the most evil video game company ever.
I'm in Atrioc's
this is a picture
analysis.
Of the CEO of EA trying to smile. Because somebody finally knocked them off the list. Blizzard.
To be fair, EA, from everything I've ever read about their company, treats their employees extremely well. So EA's got a horrible rep with consumers, and rightfully so, but their employees are happy, at least compared to the other video game companies.
Riot Games breaks records with Arcane as Netflix's best-rated show ever. And now, I don't think that'll last. There's a lot of hype around the beginning, and there's a lot of fans, but it's still phenomenally reviewed. The critic score is 100%, and the audience score is 99%.
It was all right.
On a fan-related movie. On a fan-related movie, it's always like critic score 22%, score 93. And it's the first show since the launch of Squid Game to
Tier 1
and that's just one thing. They also surprise dropped 2 new games out of nowhere. Blizzard can't find a game.
Real quick, sorry to keep pausing. Were these 2 games popular? When they dropped, I tried to find streams for them, but there was almost no one playing them. This one seemed like really low budget. This one seemed kind of throwaway as well, from what I was able to glimpse. Ruin King was semi-popular, was it? Ruin King was... Okay, so Ruin King was okay.
This guy worked at both, and he said, for me, Blizzard is leagues, haha, above and beyond Riot in terms of creative diversity and maturity of intellectual properties. Back in 2017... Generally,
it was
agree,
people worshipped Blizzard.
Was why even have the S? They're one game, and Blizzard is the king of the block. And so there's a lot of reasons that they have been diverged. Okay, but the main theme I want to have is Innovation versus exploitation. One of these companies was sued by the state of California for a culture of sexual harassment. Who did the same things but worse? It's both. And yet, for some reason, Riot is on top of the world today. Let's start by talking about Arcane again, okay? Fantastic show. My God.
The show does slap.
For the League of Legends lore, outside of maybe Fizz.
Is it Prime
It's
Keezer?
a well-written show. The animation's good. I mean, I'm just super impressed. And I'm not the only one. So this is what I was talking about. 100% on the tomatometer, 98% audience score.
Leica and Tier 1 cheese.
This is, in my mind, far and away the best video game film or TV adaptation ever.
Yeah, it's not even close either.
I think all of them. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You know what? Outside of the new Mario movie with Chris Pratt. Arcane is a fantastic show. I love it. It will not be drawing me back in to play ranked League of Legends.
True.
That being said, I don't think these PSAs will have any effect because I can show you this graph. What do you guys think this graph is? This is a graph of chess.com signups after the launch of Queen's Gambit. That's the red line. And that's a game that is kind of intimidating for new players. League of Legends, brightly colored, better user flow, is only going to experience this on crack.
Thanks for the 20 gift subs, Jojo. That was sweet. No way. Thank you, Jojo.
This is a World of Warcraft movie. You'll
Thank you for that. Hope you had a great holiday.
Not quite as beloved.
I didn't watch this movie. Was this movie any good? I debated watching it because I thought it might be so bad it's good, but from everything I read, it was just boring. Unanimously no. Is it so bad it's good, though? Nope, I'm still getting mostly no's and boring. Just bad, boring. Okay. So then I made the right call, not bothering.
They were approached by many.
Yeah, I'd recommend Arcane to anyone.
League of Legends,
whether you like League of Legends or not. Tiana hates League of Legends and loved the show. Just a really good show.
The people in-house, the people they put in charge of this are the people that made the cinematics. And that is an incredibly brave decision. They didn't want to let somebody who had more movie experience but no league experience make their property. And it definitely shows. What I always think of Hitman. Whoever made the Timothy Oliphant Hitman had never even seen the game, bro. The way he acts and what he does is nothing like the game.
I disagree. That movie's great.
People that made the movie, people that made the game. Influencers and creators have drastically changed the gaming environment. And companies that understand them versus those that don't are seeing massive shifts in outcomes.
Because working with Riot's such a day and night difference. I had a Riot event and then I had a Blizzard event back to back, right? And Riot paid me to go to an event. They also paid for they gave me $500 in Uber credits.
Oh.
And to travel for the Blizzard event, they're like, you find your way here. I had to use Riot's Uber budget that they gave me so I can travel to a Blizzard event.
That sounds like Blizzard. That's like a very Blizzard thing for sure.
Advanced access, that's your reward kind of deal.
But when you're a big game company,
it
starts to look bad
Angry Guy
year after
Alpine
year
Toaster
when
hits
everybody
woman.
else
I can't watch that on Twitch, I'll tell you right now.
Are and paying them appropriately. Early in this video, he talks about how Riot Games made a bounty board to play League of Legends on stream. And they didn't care if you were Tyler1 or XQC.
Hey, this isn't Reactception.
They said no.
Atriac often does this on stream where he has a whole presentation and topic given. So he's got all of this here in order to talk about the overall topic of Riot versus Blizzard. So it's a simple one reaction deep. He just happened to do a live class.
Later in the video, he talks about how Blizzard tried to fly out.
He was reacting to your own video earlier.
To test their
exactly.
Game for 8 hours of playtest for no money. They couldn't stream it. They couldn't make a video. They wanted them to just sit down and playtest it for 8 hours a day and give them feedback for free. And they thought they would just be honored to try a new Blizzard game.
That's so cute.
That is like a 2002 way of thinking. Toad
I went to the movies twice for Warcraft and fell asleep both
He's gonna
times.
think twice when there's a bug in a game and he wants to bitch at the developer. He's gonna be a little nicer. He's gonna soften his blow. Blizzard, because they pissed everyone off.
Yeah, I watched that, Edie. I even made a video about it.
When you mess up, they will flip on you.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have
Classic. Classic.
Play your tablet too.
And again,
thank you so much, Jojo, for the generosity.
Had this been the one slip up and the community trusted Blizzard, this one moment probably wouldn't have been such a big a deal. It just ignites all the resentment that's been building up and people just pounce on it. And every influencer that had a bone to pick with Blizzard watched this clip 100 times the next day and roasted him. Look at this face, by the way. This is the face of a man who's got a phone. Both of these companies.
Where is Diablo Immortal at? That shit still hasn't dropped, right? They couldn't even get this to work for mobile? So it's coming trademarked, I guess. It's not like they really have anyone left at the company. Haven't like half of them quit by now? And if they haven't quit, they're probably on the verge of it. Either that or like some kind of traumatic breakdown. That'll probably never come out. Goddamn, rest in peace. That would have been the best mobile game of all time, no doubt.
Had lawsuits from the state of California about sexist culture. How did they handle those situations differently? So this article came out from Kotaku in 2016. Inside the culture of sexism at Riot Games. This is before anything was revealed at Blizzard. The immediate response.
Doctors hate this.
The best way to explain this, actually, I want to explain how Riot handles this in kind of a crass way. This is back when GameSpell was more of a forward thinker and less of a reactionary turf. It's one of the jokes, I think, kind of summarizes in a crass way Riot Games' strategy. And this is when Kobe Bryant was accused of sexual misconduct.
Kobe kept it together. Thank God he held his game together, because if he was cracking under pressure and getting like 6 points a game, the whole LA would have been like, that is guilty. He was playing like his freedom depended on that shit. You see that in games, this nigga's trying to beat that case on the court.
And the idea of beating the case on the court, most people, in my
That's a really good point for how Riot handled
much
it.
amount of weight to your
Unironically, a really good point.
Every time something like this happens at a big company, they'll do the same apology. It's like a YouTuber apology. We're going to move towards a zero tolerance policy against sexual harassment. And there was a great bit in Charlie's video where he's like, wow, everyone clapped that you finally went for a zero tolerance policy. Like, that's not normal. And so what Riot Games...
That was me, baby. I said that. I said that.
Basically litigated the cases on the court. And by that I mean they started bawling. When the Blitzchung situation happened,
thanks for the bits,
this guy, Blitzchung, came on screen at a Blizzard event and said, freedom for Hong Kong, the glorious revolution of our age, something like that. The casters literally hid from the camera, and they were all fired, including the casters, which was absolutely ludicrous. Denied him a place in the Hall of Fame, banned him for life from Blizzard events. It got extreme negative pushback. Everyone rose up. Of course, the censorship. This is terrible. By the way, this is an American company, Blizzard, owned by an American company. Because this started to get some pickup on Reddit. People were like, hey, what the hell's this? They dropped Project A and Project L. I'm talking like the same week. That is called litigating on the court. Avoid talking endlessly about your weaknesses because it never changes. Now, this is mostly about Blizzard versus Riot, but I wanted to do a quick jab here at Valve because I found this tweet today. Valve has a multi-decade head start on competitive shooters. They've got one of the most beautiful games of all time in CSGO. They've got
of course, I love side talk.
Esports scene. They got a thriving marketplace. Legends of Runeterra. I'm comparing this to Heroes of the Storm because these are two games that launched and haven't done that well. On Blizzard's side, they canceled the game. They cancel it. They give no warning. They ruin the esports scene. Riot has continued to support esports for this game, and in fact, are trying to pivot into other areas that might make it more entertaining.
Thanks to Tim Gusub's Asahi.
Enjoying the competitive aspect of it that much.
Asahi.
So they're making PvE mode. As a third example, think of Valve with
they even Tim Gusub's Jerry.
What was that card game they launched?
Artifact.
Remember Artifact?
Yeah.
Artifact was dead, not only from the player base, but from the developer. Like, Valve pretended they didn't release it 1 week in. Valve was like, oh, that's not our game. I don't know whose game that is. This is
Artifact was such a
2017.
Oh,
I was here live.
Artifact was such an incredible case. Valve quite literally, when they released it, did everything they could to make people forget about it. The day it came out, you would have never known it came out. Yeah, Valve hates games, and when they make a game, they're embarrassed of it. Artifact is probably one of the most baffling cases of game development I've ever seen. The best thing that ever happened with that game was on Twitch, when it just became a place for pirated movies. Wild. And
it's an amazing AR
give
dragon.
Some Sandu.
But this is the first of its kind. They had a massive ass stadium. They got a huge ass fucking AR dragon. It's a cool thing. It's memorable. It's innovative. In the same year.
Shout out DJ Envy in the building.
Yeah.
Overwatch League.
DJ Khaled. It's an Overwatch.
So
he's a tier 1 grade A.
See which company was innovating. And by the way, franchises in that League of Legends tournament you saw About $1 million to $3 million. Franchise in the Overwatch League,
10 million, right?
$60 million.
What?
For your team to be featured next to DJ Khaled in a smaller stadium. Blizzard,
60? That can't be right. No way. Okay, no, yeah. It's about 20. Or maybe this is recent. No, it was 20. Because I know Call of Duty had the highest buy-in at 25 mil. What is it, the CDL? Call of Duty Esports. Is it CDL? I don't remember. It's 20 million per team. Oh yeah, well that's what I'm talking about. Like I said, Call of Duty I think is the highest because there's just 25 mil per team. And this is the biggest flop. I was on Twitter the other day and I saw a Nade Shot posting about how much he deeply regrets fighting to have 100 Thieves in the CDL because it's a 25 million buy-in and they haven't done anything. I don't think there's been a single event. So it was like a really big scam pretty much where they had a bunch of organizations buy in at this crazy price and then did nothing. So they just got to pocket all of it. It was an actual genius level scam.
not only are you losing people, but you can't hire anybody. Blizzard generally relied on the Blizzard clout. They would say, hey, we don't pay more than anyone else, but having Blizzard on your resume is a dope thing. They told me this when I'm applying there. Even after all of this, at the end of the day, Blizzard has one thing that is keeping it going. The dark, bleeding heart of Blizzard is
World of Warcraft. Yeah.
They're a class of people that are simply
Somehow.
unable to leave WoW. They've put too much of their life
Somehow.
into that they are hooked. And they print money for Blizzard for decades now. WoW is what keeps Blizzard Blizzard.
There's a Prime.
And I want to
Jalufius.
end this presentation
Give Sub Raccoon
with
and
this.
Prime Bravo.
A website that went up on Riot Games' page, hiring for the League of Legends MMO. This, to me, more than anything else, looks like the end of Blizzard. That's a tale of two companies of the past few years, Riot and Blizzard, and what their different strategies have led to different outcomes. And that's Marketing Monday. Hope you enjoyed.
A great Marketing Monday. I didn't know Riot released all that shit around their controversies, but yeah, I always knew. So Riot was under a lot of water for a little bit because of the sexual harassment stuff they were also facing. And I thought they just completely ignored it, but it looks like they not only ignored it, they generated hype to distract from it, which is genius. Genius. Forget, what was his name? Jason, the iRacer guy you wanted me to look up? That apparently did some bad shit. Jason Jacoby. Well, that didn't work. I didn't get anything. Oh, Jason Jacoby is a monster? So what is this about? Someone just said like this is a really bad guy in the iRacing community. My dad's big into iRacing, so I was a little interested. Oh, I'll give it a chance. Let me see.
So we all know the chaos that is currently happening in this country right now and within the sport of NASCAR, and including myself. This guy's name is Jason Jacoby, a former NASCAR YouTube streamer and a former iRacer who has raced with the likes of Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chase Briscoe, and Alex LeBay in the past in certain leagues. Anyways, let's get into it in case you forgot who this guy was.
I don't know
what's
who
been
he
going
is.
on with this dude over the past
Wow, that
couple of
was
years. For those who need a refresher course, Jason Jacoby is a former iRacing streamer who kind of rose to prominence in the community by building a $25,000 late model chassis that he then stuffed inside his man cave and would stream races from, featuring all of his social media accounts as well as Domino's Pizza, which he wasn't actually sponsored by. It was just the job he worked at.
So you have a shitty minimum wage job. You do
How did he have 25 grand to
able
blow?
To buy this big rig, and his channel only accumulated.
Does Domino's pay
around
super well?
5,000 to 6,000 subscribers. So there is no way in hell he should be able to afford that, right? Well, here's how he did.
The amount of credit cards used to fund this rig, including cash advances.
Oh God!
Some of those to pay for it, but
no way.
I can't. I'm not supposed to get into that. I told my parents I wouldn't do that, but okay. So a couple is 2, a few is 4, right in between a couple and a few.
He charged Jason out the ass for that sim rig. It was not worth what he paid for it, and
Are we allowed to ask what he paid for it?
The price of that, because he said it before, people know it, he put it out there publicly, so I will put it out there as well.
Okay, so this guy is freaking delusional.
So he's very bad with money
Number
and
2,
decisions.
He was under the impression that if he was good enough in iRacing, it would eventually warrant a ride in the Cup Series. Okay, any NASCAR fan with common sense knows that just because you're good in iRacing does not mean it will automatically warrant a Cup Series ride.
I don't know if he's going to mention this. There is a racer currently in NASCAR who literally came from being very good at iRacing, right? I forgot his name, but it's a young kid, and he was nutty at iRacing. My dad was telling me about him, and I can't remember what his name was.
And interesting enough, Austin actually races in his spare time, and for his entire set of
William
tires
Byron?
and his
That
car,
might be
pretty
it.
much
I wouldn't
everything
recognize his
combined,
name.
It was around 16 grand. Okay, moving on to the victim in question, Mackenzie Gordon, Jason Jacoby's former girlfriend and the mother of his child. There have been a lot of people choosing sides over the years, so here's how they met.
So when I was 14 and I met him, and he had us all fooled. This guy was God sent. He was the perfect Christian man, never cursed, did not do anything wrong.
Oh.
He was the perfect image of a man that I would want. A man that I would want in my life. He was so kind. He always smiled. He was so happy. My mother loved him just because of how he carried himself, his persona. He was just, like I said, he was God sent. He was the perfect man. With a young girl 2 years younger than him. That didn't dawn on me.
He was 24 when he met her at 14?
I understand that point of view. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
So when Mackenzie was 14, Jason Jacoby was 24 years old. Yeah, a 10-year difference. Nothing illegal happened in terms of, being sexual, because obviously if it did, he would have been thrown in jail. But he groomed her until she was 17 years old to ask her out. Jason Jacoby,
and that still wasn't legal either.
Pedophile. I keep up with the TCAP community from time to time. I see all the signs.
He still missed it by a full year.
That is the very definition of grooming. A sick man. Not to mention all the abuse that took place as the years go on. Facade, this fake personality that this dude is all about God. He's very religious.
That's not mutually exclusive. Have you heard of the Catholic Church?
What a load of crap. In my neighborhood where I'm from,
Thanks to the resub manic.
If we find out a 24-year-old is talking to a 14-year-old like that, that's a wrap. These people are dangerous.
iRacing is a racing simulator.
Dangerous. They bring no value to society.
A really thorough racing simulator.
They only ruin victims' lives.
There's some down bad Wumpus in details.
Children's lives being ruined every day in this country and throughout the world by none other than pedophiles like Jason Jacoby. Topics on this.
Is this real life footage or a video game? This is real life.
Both the links in the description below. Watch the
iRacing's graphics aren't that crazy.
And also Austin's 54-minute interview with Mackenzie. This whole thing is nuts. And lastly, what I'm about to touch up on gets much worse. This guy is not only a master manipulator, a pedophile, a creep, but overall is just exhibiting extreme levels of bad behavior, just toxic behavior that shouldn't be put up in this society. Here's what I'm talking about.
Now let's get into the really heavy stuff. This girl claims that she has proof of him sending underage girls pictures of his dick, which is realistically a felony, and he's probably going to go to jail for this at some point.
Holy shit.
There is chatter that he supposedly tried to scam the Lombard Bros who received some sort of settlement from their dad passing away. He supposedly tried to scam them out of 10 grand.
God damn.
That he would jack off at Domino's Pizza while they're on the clock.
What?
There are multiple felonies here.
That's like the least surprising thing I've heard about Domino's, to be honest.
I better not ruin his online image. He would kill me, essentially, if I ever did anything to compromise the perfect nice guy. Headrest on a racing seat and knocked me out, gave me a concussion. I ended up in the hospital because I couldn't see. My head was severely hurting. And it almost killed me. And he did this all in front of our son. And at that point, I'm like, oh shit, I have to get out of here. He's going to kill me. Do not let him. I'm autistic. I'm not supposed to be a dad. And that was the craziest shit that man has ever said to me. He looked me dead in the eyes and was so serious.
This type of crap went on for years, man. Years! If I would have found out 2 years ago that this man was doing all this stuff to you, man, we would have put a stop to it right then and there. But you know what?
What do you mean?
I'm trying to make up for it the best way I can by exposing this monster.
Well, you're gonna go to the house in person and beat him up? Like, there wasn't a whole lot you could do.
They are fully aware of this scumbag's actions, and hundreds of people on the internet have called as well on other topics, the obvious topics, later this week. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch it.
That was a pretty wild story and a really weird ending. It had nothing to do with racing. The guy was a community member, I guess. I don't know. If this was a couple of years ago, my dad would have never heard of him. My dad just recently got into iRacing. See, I thought it was going to be like one of their like big power players, but I guess it was just some asshole who bought a really expensive rig. Well, no, he did a lot of horrible shit. No, that's I understand. I'm saying, like, as far as community members go, it wasn't like he was a big power player in the community. He was just a guy who got notoriety in the community for how much he spent on his rig. The Hatforth Parish Council. God, that sounds miserable, but all right. Unless they get into some conspiracies. What am I looking for? This? Oh, I've seen this. Well, I guess I haven't seen the full 18 minutes, but yeah, I saw this.
Hello again. I thought I wasn't going to get in then.
When do we plan to start?
Yeah, no, this is super cute.
Any moment behavior from everyone. No one would be excluded from.
They're all being held at gunpoint. No, this is a council meeting. They're having fun.
So was Councillor Burton. So was Councillor Burton. Please let the chairman...
Mrs. Weaver.
Interrupt this meeting. I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting.
It's just a very well, it's not passive. It's just
no authority here, Jack.
An aggressive Zoom call between geriatrics.
She's just kicked him out. Just a minute. No, she's kicked him out. Don't. She's kicked him out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by two councillors.
Illegally?
You may now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
I am the law.
Read the standing orders. It now reverts to me. Where's the chairman gone?
Thanks, recent tower and sold.
I'd like to elect a chairman for this meeting.
You don't have to elect a chairman. There's a chairman already installed. The chairman of the council.
Councillor Burton.
It's like a Lord of the Rings thing.
What are you
like the
talking
fellowship
about?
of the council.
Could I ask you to be respectful to Jackie Weaver, please?
Zoom is being very disrespectful to everybody.
Oh, coming from you, from Birkenhead, that sounds good.
This guy's just having fun. Did he get kicked?
Wow.
Thank God for that.
Can I propose John Smith, please?
John Smith, that's not his real name.
Thank you. Okay. My first point.
Hey, John Smith.
To apologise to Jackie.
The chairman simply declared.
It kind of fizzles out there, but I just think it's super cute. It's just a bunch of old people in a Zoom call that kind of get angry, and then that's it. I don't know, it's just kind of wholesome. You see, Sony is making Cars, like the movie, or the real thing. Like the real Cars? Okay, I don't really care. Doesn't Sony already make Cars in Korea? It's not, like, surprising. Can they understand the cat in Stuart Little? Is that a fan theory? Who directed Stuart Little? They went on to direct, like, a horror movie, right? Who was it? Rob Minkoff?
Stuart Little is, first and foremost, a tiny little mouse boy, but also a base hit franchise with one hit movie, one kinda successful movie, a straight-to-DVD garbage movie, and a canceled TV show. Wonder, asking,
God, I haven't seen this movie in so
why does everyone
long.
understand that talking mouse and that talking bird, but they ignore that talking cat? The cat's mouth
give
is
some
moving, we can
JFeet
see
and
it.
resubs
Why do they
price.
adopt the mouse from a homeless shelter for human children, but just get other talking pets from the pet store? I'm asking, what is the structure of the animal kingdom in Stuart Little? Before we begin,
I don't even
a
remember the
quote
movie,
from
so I
E.B. White, the
have
creator
no
of Stuart
real
Little.
horse in this race.
Many years ago, I went to bed one night in a railway
Just haven't
sleeping
seen
car,
it
and
since I
during
was
the
a
night,
kid.
I dreamed about a tiny boy who acted rather like a rat. And that's how the story of Stuart Little got started. Cool, man. Thanks. The 1999 movie opens the series
What are you
with
watching?
the Little family, set on adopting a brother for their son George, and unexpectedly meeting and falling in love with a feminist mouse named Stuart. When the Littles go to adopt him, the checkout lady at the orphanage says something curious.
We try to discourage couples
Okay,
from
have
adopting
fun.
children outside their own.
I don't know, I feel like I'm not going to care about this since I don't remember the movie, like, at all.
It rarely.
Cats.
What did they...
Our
Alright, I need to look it up because it's bothering me. I for sure remember, like, the director of Stuart Little or something went on to do horror movies. Nope, this guy went on to direct Mr. Peabody and Sherman. That's not who I was thinking of. It was M. Night... No, it wasn't M. Night, was it? Man, I don't know.